Hello everybody. Let's try to check the sound. If everything's okay. Hello everybody. Yes, sounds is okay. So today we're gonna talk about some very interesting topic, and let's wait for a couple more people. Hi guys, would you watching this? Let me screen share. So today we're gonna talk about religion. So religion is one of the things that we know as a reuniting mechanism. Religion itself means literally reuniting. So when you have a union or community reunited, that is religion, because league is the union and means again, like revolution, return, and stuff like that. So religion is reuniting. But what we know about religions, most of them are called religion only in European uh, or Western civilization. Like Christianity is called religion, uh, Judaism is called a religion, and Islam is called a religion. And we never heard about any other belief, which is probably means the same to the people who believe in it, that has been called a religion, because all other, like Buddhism is religion, Hinduism is a religion, but the thing that what came before the religion is called paganism or barbarianism or something like that. So it's not called a religion because it was the first community belief, and it couldn't be called a religion because it was before the reuniting. So it was before the uh, splitting the community. It was something that was before. But if we talk about the people that actually do believe in the thing that was before, we find many interesting things. Like this guy is called Saint Christopher, and it literally means that he was the saint of Christianity. But was he really a Christian before he met Christ? As we know in the legend of Saint Christopher, he was the one who was carrying the baby Jesus, on his shoulders while crossing this river. He was this huge guy. Look at this. He was a huge guy. He was a giant. But the same guy is pictured with a dog head, and it's pretty interesting because it's a very prohibited topic. Very prohibited topic, and it's one of the biggest conspiracies, in fact, of Christianity. So, before he met the Christ, he was wondering who is the strongest man on earth, or maybe the most powerful one. So he came to a king to serve the king, But the king said, well, I'm not the most powerful because I'm afraid of Satan. And so he went to Satan. He found Satan and he said, well, I want to serve you, Satan, because you're the most powerful. But soon he figured that Satan doesn't like crosses. So that literally meant he was going to fight Christ, and he found Christ. And that's the thing that he helped Christ with, to cross one of those rivers and stuff like that. But during that crossing, there's also one interesting thing, that they started to drown because the weight was so heavy, and he was thinking the Christ is a lot bigger than a baby. He was already scared to drown, but the Christ said something like, cheer up, guy, nothing's gonna happen to you, don't worry, and stuff like that. So probably that did help. So we have to read that legend again, maybe sometime else, but this is not the exact topic of reviewing this legend today. The topic is that the prohibited topic about giant and the Christ turned out to be more prohibited when we talk about this guy with the head of a dog, so-called kinocephal, which means the dog-headed. So we have those paintings of him in Russia, in churches, in ancient churches, in fact, and he's pretty well known, although he is really prohibited, even though he is pictured most of the time in some old churches. So sometimes we have like this, which is also very interesting. Like, look what they did to him. So they set him on fire, basically. Look here. He was bigger than average people, maybe twice as big as a person. Look, they shot him with the bows and stuff like that. One guy is dead and three is shooting him. He's just standing and doing nothing. Here's maybe a baptizing of him. I don't know. What are they doing? Looks like baptizing. Or epiphany. I don't know how they call it. Epiphany, maybe. So we have to figure that out. Watch this icon more closely to understand what is actually pictured here. But of course, if he was not buried but burned, he was a pagan. He was a pagan. So all the legends probably tell us the true events, but we gotta understand that the legends may be as encoded with some more important information that actually sound in this legend, because some conspiracy information may be hidden in those words. So it's like a code. And what I was thinking is that we heard about those dog-headed people not only from Saint Christopher. Of course, he is just one of the most brightest examples of dog-headed people, or even giants. That there were plenty more of dog-headed people pictured worldwide. Although we have this giant and a kid picture, it may not be the right one, because we see two different types of Saint Christopher. One is dog-headed and one is just a giant. So maybe this is an edited picture, like for us to be misled, or maybe it's two different persons, one of whose was pulled into the story to maybe legalize this dog-headed topic, or maybe, as I was saying, this was just edited and the face of the person, face of the human, was edited here, and the painters were drawing the human face, human head, because they were told to, after something that changed the opinion on Saint Christopher. And it also is proved by that the topic is prohibited. Although we see these pictures that Saint Christopher is with other saints in the lines with them, the same, standing close to them. Although he has his dog head, which is pretty amazing by the fact that we know about lichens, or maybe what do they call them? Is wolves who are eating people, and they're like fighting vampires in one of those famous movies that was not long ago. But we see that Saint Christopher was edited a bunch of times. As we can see, this is a edition, the dog head, which is viewable. This is in Yaroslav, in one of those cathedrals in Yaroslav. And we can see that he was painted with the dog head first, and after some period of time, the head was switched to a human. And we see those pictures with the human head. We see the picture of Jesus clearly here, holding this thing in his hand. So we also see Saint Christopher on many more pictures, like he brings 7 flowers, 7 white lilies maybe, to Mary, Saint Mary. And look what he has in their hands. Some stick and something like what they call a fruit, abandoned or not abandoned, prohibited fruit, so-called prohibited fruit. And we see again the face is pretty edited, because we see this dog cheeks here with the hair is almost like little hairs here, but so it was an edited face. So we figured that this is something close to this. Looks pretty much the same. Look at it. So we see the same in the hands of little Jesus and Madonna here. They like eating this fruit and stuff like that. Also here, It's a pomegranate. So we also have to understand what it is all about. And again, he was respected much because if he was actually carrying Jesus on his shoulders, that could symbolize that he one who brought Jesus to us, like the messenger, like the maybe the teacher because Jesus was a boy, maybe the somebody who brought him to us, who gave him like you know like a like something big that he brings it, like his time was over, and it symbolizes that he was like a pagan, maybe a pagan giant. That's why he was burned, not just buried. And he is like bringing us the Christianity, like handing it to our hands, like you guys, like you can keep it because I am going away, like I'm over, my time is over, giants are over, pagan time is over, dog-headed people time is over, so see you later, bye, here's your Jesus. Literally like that. So again, this is a topic to discuss, and I found this article about also those dog heads. So it's like it's like talking about the German tribe of Langobards, which were famous um, by the military actions. They were in crusades. They had friendly relations with those kinocephalos, like dog heads. It was well known that on the east, where they actually went to crusades, uh, there left many legends about those kinocephalos and Langobards. So they like say like those dog-headed people are the kids of Amazons, those like those pretty women who were in the Greek legends, like Amazons. So those Amazons were like messing with those beasts and stuff like that that were on the north, and they had kids from those beasts, and those kids were kincephalos or dog-headed people. So that's just legend because the north is something not very concrete. So it's like go to the north. Where is north? We don't know where is north. So north might be the ancient so-called Hyperborea, or the province of Atlantis, which was located in the modern Arctic. So maybe Greenland is the part of Hyperborea, and one of these uh, Russian Arctic islands, like Novaya Zemlya, is the part of Hyperborea. So we don't know. We have to research that, and this is not quite the topic of what I'm trying to say. So those dogheads were the kids of Amazons, and here's one map that shows. I don't think shows it. Shows not shows. So it's like it's So like here's Tartaria, here's maybe Turkey, it's called Tur, and somewhere here is Amazonia, over here. So Amazonia, as you can see, close to Tartaria. So it's like uh, close to the river of Volga, the middle of so-called Volga River. And it was called at that time the Ra River, so the river of Ra. Okay, again, we have the map of Russia, what is called Russia and Rossiane Gra. Maybe it was just a Russia, Lithuania. So we have to search, and also we see the Amazonia here in Russia, and again on some river. So that's probably how they looked like. We call them dockheads, but probably they were close to these like pavilions. And also this guy says like, so who is this holy dog of Christofer? Dog Christofer. So he was the logistics person who was the one who carried across the river, and he was also the miracle man. But there is one opinion that he is so-called Cristobal Colon, which is Christopher Columbus. So, and if we shorten it again, we can say the Haron. So it's like the Haron of Greek mythology, which is also symbolizes whales that I was talking about a couple of days ago. So whales is the god of all the animals, and also he was having a wolf head and a bear head and sometimes a bull head. So he was like more close to a wolf, of course, but sometimes he was showing up as a bull and as a bear. So also this is wolf is pretty close to dog, so it may have a connection here. So Haron also had a dog head, and here like Jesus and so-called caballeros. Caballero is a conquistadors. Caballero and cavaliers is like cavalry, and chevalier in French, so it's probably the same as cavalier. So almost it means that it could be all the cavaliers, ancient cavaliers, were the guards of Christ, so-called the army that protected the Christ. So it's like an order, a knight order. So caballeros were probably the warriors of Christ. And that's why Longobards, and that's why all those stuff like that. So Christofer also had a so-called close to Egypt Anubis, which was the god of death and how do you call it? Rebirth, renewal of all the life. So Anubis was also a dog-headed, and he had also this stick, which looks like the one that Saint Christopher had. So, and he also is the one who was carrying people across the river from here to there. So maybe Christopher Columbus was also a caballero, and he was the last one who was called Christopher. So it's why we know this is Saint Christopher. So, and of course, he was carrying people across the Atlantic Ocean, and that's why it was maybe a big river at that time. So as well as we know, people traveled across the Atlantic, and so maybe Saint Christopher was the one who was carrying people across the Atlantic to the American, from Europe to America, because it was just like switching the world. But that's only a theory of that guy. But we have to research that too, because we know that Columbus thing is pretty messed up. All these stories about him, and also this Saint Christopher, and he is Christopher, and caballeros and those knights probably have the connection to Kinocephalos or dog heads, and all this pagan stuff like whales, Anubis, and other horrors of Greece are connected to the people with the dog head, and they had a look of a dog head, maybe. So that was the topic of today's research. So after the mud flood, probably all those religious things were re-edited, and this is one more proof of that. They don't talk about anymore, and I put up this topic so you can do your own research, ask your maybe pastor about Saint Christopher, and see if we have any logical explanation. And maybe after that, write me about what he answered you. The guys that I was asking about Saint Christopher didn't say anything literally. They were not very good in explaining this stuff. Well, let's see if we have any questions. You're not screen sharing. I'm not screen sharing. Oh, I hope that I did screen share. So this is the guy, the Saint Christopher. These are the pictures I was showing. So sometimes he is pictured as a human, sometimes he's pictured as a dog-headed person. So here are the drawings that were re-edited. So probably this is the stick. This is re-edited face also here. We see this dog chicks, chinks, whatever. And this is interesting also because it's a stick like that Osiris or Anubis had to use it, and probably it was a pomegranate thing like that, maybe something that Jesus got from us. Saint Christopher. So this is the stick. Again, this is interesting because he was burned here. Here we can see he's a giant. And what I was showing here is caballeros. Jesus and caballeros were called conquistadors. So probably kinocephalos were looking like this. So if they had more human kind of face, but then just a dog, they probably look like this, more like a pavian. Here's Anubis picture, and again, this is one is pictured with the dog head, as you can see. So it's very interesting topic. I hope you guys research it. We're gonna talk about this a little bit later. So let's find out, do we have any questions? Just so you know, we cannot see your screen. Hope you'll do this with pictures. We can see screen. Hi people. There's a mud flood in progress in the USA right now. Some say there are plans to recreate Edgar Cayce map with 2 inland man-made tsunamis using weather modifications and energy weapons. You know, we had a TV show, political talk show, where one general lieutenant, which is pretty important person in Russia, was important person in Russia, head of staff maybe of Russian army. He was saying about this climate change in weaponry that we have, and also USA has it. Of course, we know it. So it probably is real what you're saying. But Edgar Cayce map was also pictured not by Edgar Cayce. We don't know exactly what map he was thinking about. We have to check it again, because I've seen many things about Edgar Cayce, but I haven't seen any maps that he was drawing by himself. So all the maps that we can see right now may be fake. Mud flood in progress right now. Where is the mud flood? And I saw some flood pictures and flood videos from California, but I don't know, is that flood you're talking about? Okay, what is Tunguska 1908 event? We don't know, but it looks like it was not a meteor or something like that. It was not something from space, as they tell us, because they haven't found any stones, anything that proves it. But they found a lot of trees that were so-called cut by this event. So the trees were like laying down on the ground. You probably can find those pictures about that, but we still don't know what it is. I don't want to guess about it, but what if we saw the let's say meteorite, whatever you call it, we call it pretty much the same. Let me show you. This is the actual footage from Chelyabinsk. So this one is guessing meteorite, rocket, or UFO. Rocket, UFO, or meteorite. We can see what he's picturing. He's picturing like something hit through it, and here it comes, and here it comes out. Here it goes. So probably it was some charge thing that was hit by some air defense system. As you can see, air defense system works pretty fine. So no intruder, plasma shot, anything like that can actually be passed to the surface of our cell. It can pass through the dome, but it cannot pass towards the surface because it is getting shot. So that uh, Tunguska thing is probably something like that. Maybe it was shown and it was hit. It was shot by somebody and it was hit on the way of hitting the surface, and probably some aftermath just of this plasma shot just hit those trees, and that's why we see those bended trees. That's the only reason that we cannot find anything, because it was shot in the air. So how does atomic energy play into all this? How does atomic energy play into all this? Didn't quite understand what you were trying to say. Good morning from New Zealand. Keep up the good work. Do you think it's possible for the silica trees to return if we're capable of removing all the distortion of nature in modern society? I don't think silica trees will return anymore, because it was all cleaned up and nothing will return like this, as huge as this. Maybe some other type of things from silica can be possible, but not as huge as it was, because we don't see this atmospheric barometric pressure returning anymore. And we know we found many interesting articles about the air pressure in ancient ice and ancient, how do you call it in English, amber. So there, it contains air bubbles, and it contains at least twice or three times more barometric pressure in those bubbles than we have right now. Just made outer space just to make us believe outer space is real. I think it's man-made. Well, outer space is not what we are told. Outer space is probably water or some type of water type of thing. So maybe something can actually intrude, but who knows where it was shot from. We only see the final stage of this thing. So it may be a human made, or maybe someone else from other cell. Who knows? I think it was shot from other cell, because we not only saw the shot, we saw the air defense system, which is probably our air defense system, not the Russian one, because the speed was enormous. No Russian air defense system can shoot this thing. Believe me. They calculated the speed of this thing. It was like 7,000 kilometers per hour. So the fastest thing that we have right now is like 4,000. So it never could have even be shot out in the sky so it can catch something. It's impossible. It's supposed to be calculated very well, but we saw that it was moving a lot faster than the subject that was shot down. So it probably had speed about 15,000 kilometers per hour, something like that. Yes, that Russian city was there where they store large amount of nuclear waste. Yeah, you know, this story. After Soviet Union was destroyed, Bill Clinton made a deal with Boris Yeltsin, uh, and that deal supposed to take out all those Russian Soviet uh, powerful nuclear missiles that could actually not be penetrated by any air defense system. So Boris Yeltsin signed a deal, signed a treaty to take out those warheads and store them where United States shows him to do. And they didn't take those warheads. They said, oh, it's okay to store it in Russia. You can store it in this hangar, which is not well protected from the air. So it's like a huge target for anything. If anything hits it, anything bigger than an airplane maybe can pass through this roof of this hangar and explode all those warheads. That's the theory that they're talking about. So they may be right, they may be wrong, who knows? Maybe there are no warheads there anymore, but they just tell us, who knows? The Casey map may be the modern Navy map. It shows a large inland sea in what is California Orwell Dam collapse, and the Great Lakes may be drained. The Deagle depopulation conspiracy. I can't say nothing about that. We have to assemble more research on that. So thanks a lot for watching. Sorry for not picturing, not sharing the screen, because it was a little mistake. See you later. Bye.